Populist leader in Southeast Asia, prepared by Fatinur Miza Maisarah binti Misbahuddin, 261694. Next, Nur Syaida Atika binti Muhammad Shaufi, 261565. Nur Arifah Awatif binti Muhammad, 263209. And the last one is Nadia Izati binti Ruslan, 262586. Consists of 4 members.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nadia Izati binti Ruslan. So, what is populist leader? Actually, the populist leader portrays himself as a voice of the people, and by endorsing him, the people are capable of ruling outside of existing constitutional framework or of regulating those structure. Populist leader develop what is called an aesthetic of people closeness. Some populist leaders, for example, use the media for direct contact with their people and introduce themselves on telephone shows in which callers can raise questions with the leader and often take decisions to respond to those appeals. The populist leader has a direct link with the people and listen to their concerns and can also respond to them without negotiating decisions through constitutional structure. Actually, there are many populist leaders in Southeast Asia, but our group chose 3 leaders from Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand.
The third populist leader is from Thailand, named Thaksin Shinawat. Thaksin Shinawat was born in 1949 in Chiang Mai, Thailand. His age now is 71 years old and he is the 23rd Thailand's Prime Minister. Thaksin also is a leader of the big party called Thai Rak Thai Party and campaigned on a populist platform to win in general election, and he was appointed as the Prime Minister from 2001 until 2006. He was eliminated as Prime Minister in 2008 after found guilty in corruption. Thaksin's action and policies. During his tenure as a Prime Minister, Thaksin's policies focus on the neglected rural population. Firstly, in economy, Thaksin has created a large microcredit system called 1 million baht village fund program. Through this program, he gives million Thai baht to each villages, and he provided substantial loans funds for villages, and it helps the farmers a lot. Another one is the first universal healthcare program in Thai called 30 Baht Scheme, which provide affordable healthcare for the poor. Next, Thaksin also created another policies regarding the drugs, which called anti-drug policy. Apart from that, Thaksin had makes greater investment in education with the education policies. Controversies of Thaksin Shinawat. Firstly, his focus on the rural society brought the unjust divisions and led to conflict between the rural population with the urban populations when they against each other. Apart from that, Thaksin has involved in many corruption cases, and one of it is he helped his wife in buying land in a low price from a state agency, and as a result, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. In 2020, Thaksin was sentenced to another 5 years in jail by the Supreme Court, convicted of illegally hold shares in Shin Corp, which violated the Organic Act. However, despite all the controversies, his supporters always stay loyal to him, and they also staged a massive uprising against the pro-military government after Thaksin's loss in last year's election, which was said to be unfair.
Let's talk about the first populist leader named Joko Widodo. By name Jokowi, born June 21, 1961, Surakarta, Central Java, Indonesia. His mother's name is Haji Sujatmi Notomiharjo, and his father's name is Wijatno Notomiharjo, and Jokowi was the eldest child and the only son from 4 siblings. Jokowi applied himself at school and won admittance to Gajah Mada University in Yogyakarta and graduated on 1985 with a degree in forestry engineering. After that, he got married with Iriana 1986 and had 3 children, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, Kaisung Panghenam, and the last one is Kahiyang Ayu. For several years, he worked for a state-owned pulp mill in the Aceh region of northern Sumatra, later established his own furniture factory in Surakarta. After that, he known as Indonesian businessman, politician, and became the president of Indonesia from 2014 until now. Joko Widodo, who attract international attention with his popular style of campaigning and his anti-corruption platform, became the first Indonesian president who did not have a military background or belong to one country's prominent political families. Joko Widodo action and policies. In 2005, Joko became a member of Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle (PDI), has won election as Mayor Surakarta, the first person to be directly elected to that post. He was extraordinarily effective in reducing crime and attracting foreign tourism to the city. Second, his habit of making spontaneous visits to poor neighborhoods and his refusal to accept salary for his public service contributed to his reputation for humility and honesty. In 2014, PDI selected Jokowi to become candidate for the Indonesian president election. We swept to victory with more than 55% of the popular vote, defeating former General Prabowo Subianto. Pak Jokowi policy his first term economic growth, and in economy, reducing inequality will be President Jokowi's top priority. Infrastructure was particularly focused during his first term and will becoming a key leader priority over the next 5 years. And have signaled that human capital development will be a signature focus on his second term. The second one is emphasis on maritime issue. He has reinforced that emphasis is the most prominent remark of foreign policy during the campaign at 22 June. Foreign policy debates arguing that Indonesia should function as a global maritime axis, a proposal derived of his focus on increasing maritime commerce within the archipelago. Pak Jokowi controversy started with job creation, otherwise known as an omnibus law, by giving it his signature a month after the bill was passed by the parliament. But labor unions, student and Islamic organizations have all objected to the legislation, saying that it's diminished workers' rights and he should have given urgency by the million people within the job because of COVID-19. And the protests are unlikely to die soon, and the Indonesian has remarked the omnibus law by as a member of Indonesians.
Next, I will explain about the populist leaders named Rodrigo Duterte from Philippines. I will start with the background details. Rodrigo Duterte, also called Digong, is a Filipino politician who was elected 16th President of the Philippines in 2016. He was born on March 28, 1945 in Masin, Southern Leyte, Philippines. He is the eldest son of Vicente Duterte and his mother Soledad Roa. He has 2 sisters named Jocelyn and Eleanor, as well as 2 brothers named Benjamin and Emmanuel. Duterte's family later moved to Davao City. He attended high school at the Ateneo de Davao. After finish, he continued his studies in political science at the Lyceum of the Philippine University, obtaining a law degree in 1968 from San Beda College. Duterte got married with a former flight attendant, Elizabeth Zimmerman, in 1973 and got 3 kids. In 2000, the marriage was annulled. He entered the Davao City Public Prosecutor's Office in 1977. In 1998, he successfully ran for a seat representing the mayor of Davao City in the House of Representatives of the Philippines and won 7 terms over 22 years. Then he stated his intention to run for president in 2015 and made his election victory the following year in 2016. Rodrigo Duterte do many actions in his administration. The number of drug users in the region has been reduced since Duterte came to power in 2016, as well as crime also decreased. Breakup of some oligarchies also part of his actions. Moreover,
he has implemented savvy fiscal management. In spite of COVID-19, in April 2020, the Philippines obtained its best ever credit ranking BBB+ in June 2020 with a stable rating. He also tried to reduce the poverty for the people. The last one is sanctioning of abusive utilities when he attempted to scrap the long-term contracts secured in 1997 between the two major water concessionaires. There are also policies areas for Duterte administration. First, in terms of economic policy making, have been to accelerate and make economic growth more inclusive and to dramatically increase spending on much needed. Duterte key focus has been a strongly aggressive approach to illegal drug usage. Then peace and development in Mindanao. In addition, constitutional change under his administration. Duterte time in power in foreign policy also had led to a mixture of continuity and change under what officials have called independent foreign policy. It is focused on the national interests of the Philippines and aimed at optimizing the autonomy, stability, and development of the country. Duterte has caused a lot of controversies during his administration of the Philippines. This can be proven by imposing harsh penalties on drug traffickers and consumers. He encouraged civilians and police to carry out extrajudicial executions of criminals, and thousands have died in anti-drug campaigns. He also joked of the southern city of Davao. He should have been the first to rape an Australian missionary, murder in a prison riot. Last but not least, Duterte government respond to the COVID pandemic when he remarks ordering the individual who violate the quarantine protocols in April 2020 to be shot.
What scholars have to say about populist leaders and populism? So, populism, a term of criticism instead of a term of appreciation, is a negative characteristic of government. However, it is not a critique of a government's substantive policy. It is tempting to argue that policy we oppose are populist. Populism, by contrast, criticized the way these decisions were taken and accused the constitutional government of having subverted its proper process. Yet not everybody is populist in subversion. Other forms of constitutional disorder can be distinguished from popularity. Populists are not tyrants or rulers, but they can fall into this type of state as populism grows. Without the support of the majority of the people, tyrants and dictators rule with terror and violence as the primary instrument of government. In comparison, common people rely on people's support for their influence, but like all rulers, they reinforce this support by constraining some state members. That's all from me. Thank you.